It's time for Class Racing Today, the podcast for the NHRA class racing fan. Welcome back to Class Racing Today, classracingtoday.com, classracingtoday@gmail.com. If you have any questions or comments, just keep them not snide. You never know. This is episode 67. This is actually a pretty special episode because not only because I got to go attend my first race, the Rock Falls Raceway, but it is Bobby's birthday. Robert Fazio, how are you? Happy
doing
birthday!
Great. How you doing, sir? Thank you.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
Happy birthday to Bobby.
Year 39 is here.
Excellent. Good work. Well, Brian and I got to go hang out on Friday, which was new for me to go see some racing. Was it Thursday or Wednesday? He called, say, "Hey, what are you doing Friday?"
That's probably Thursday afternoon.
Probably 6
Nothing
hours.
like last minute, right? That's what, 5-hour drive.
Yeah, it was a haul.
It was a little bit of a
Productivity has dropped significantly since then for some reason.
Whose productivity?
Mine has.
You mean your job productivity?
Just in life, yeah.
Mhm.
Like you think like being tired and trying to rest up and all that, but no, all I've been thinking about is race car.
Yeah. I did grab a few runs just for fun.
Oh, that car didn't get off the line.
The starting line was pretty tough there for stick cars.
So this was Friday. Saturday it rained most of it, right? They got one round in?
One round qualifying, yep.
Yeah.
Was
And
Trista
then-
Fenner driving that car?
No. It was Derek. That was the heads up. That was pretty cool. Knudsen against Bill Shepard.
That's a nice car. Look at that. And then the vet over there, Dikuma. Now is that Randy Mans or Mike Mans there?
That was Randy.
That's kind of cool.
Nice.
Just a little quick. And that venue is really, really cool. I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere. You know, we get off the interstate at Eau Claire, and it's then another 5 or 6 miles into the wilderness,
Been to the woods.
and then it's carved out of trees. Cell surface is real special. However, their new tower and garage facility and concessions and the whole registration place, showers and restrooms is really a beautiful facility. Although I do have a complaint. If anyone's listening from that raceway, what was the thought of having 0 speakers on the outside of the tower? None. So the real issue is when you have the winner's circle and your announcer is talking to the crowd that's gathered about, you cannot hear him because the only speakers are out in the crowd or in the parking lot.
Well, you kind of hear echo.
Yes, terrible. Absolutely terrible. So I don't understand the thought process behind that. I would love to know if it was deliberate or if it was just an oversight, because everything else about that facility is really cool, except that. So, what I mean, if you need help looking at stuff, I'll. I mean, I can come give you some ideas if you want.
Hey, consultant job.
Peter
Lancier,
gmail.com.
greetings from the Budapest airport. He's heading home.
He's coming home.
He's coming home.
Budapest.
Safe travels, Pete. It looked like a fun trip. I was looking at your pictures on Facebook. Oh, I miss a good Euro trip. I haven't had one of those in a 4 years now.
That's been about 44 years for me.
And counting.
Sometimes when I going to Wisconsin felt like going to Europe. Looking at the land, there's a lot of trees.
Right. Yeah, do have more trees.
My next race is at New Media, where it kind of looks like Europe. Reminds me of Italy. You could just see for miles and miles hills and farms and all kinds of stuff. So I'll just stare at that for a while and pretend that I'm about 6,000 miles away. Jamie Jones.
Yes.
Haggard.
Absolutely. No speakers at the starting line and along the fence to watch is not ideal. Absolutely 100% right. I hate saying that phrase, but it's exactly right. It's makes no sense to me because you have your spectators, the whole concession spot. There's no speakers for the guy up in the booth. So anyway, it was odd. It was also weird being up in the booth and having zero audio feedback from the announcer in that room. And so you're just the glass is pretty nice. It's a cool building. We have a little bite from where we talked to Charlie up in that room, and it's cool, but no feedback in there either. So you don't know what's going out, if it's going out at all. So it just seems like AV wasn't considered well, other than putting it out over the FM transmitter so everyone in their trailers can listen, which is pretty cool.
Well, in their defense, like they're just trying to get cars down the lanes. They're trying to have like a good run race. They're not like AV magicians like you are, Craig. Like I guarantee everybody
the same day the CompuLink was.
I guarantee nobody there cared about the speakers more than they cared about the starting line, which was a little tough for the stick cars. I mean,
Peter's correct. Also, Bobby, happy anniversary over the weekend too.
Thank you.
Bam, 1 whole year. Go get them.
I want to be there at the track when they're like, hey, just so you guys know, we've had a lot of complaints, so we added 3 speakers, but we're not going to be able to prep the track quite as good for the next 3-4 races.
You know, as not the racer in the group, that'd be great.
It's a cool facility though. I'm glad I was able to come. It'd be my, I think, 3rd or 4th year I've been there, and they always have a good car count. Man, the weather though, like it was hot when we were there.
Oh, it was hot, yes. Very much so.
And then it wasn't hot, and the cars went really fast on Sunday. So I kind of felt like Sunday would have been a good day to be there, but yet I'm glad we weren't there Saturday when it rained all day either.
Oh, I didn't know that. That is no fun.
But we got to watch stick race on the Challenge of Champions, so that was pretty
The
neat.
Race of Champions.
Race.
Yeah, it was cool. It was kind of fun. Had a good time. Met some great people. I think we had offered how many? 3 or 4 different dinners. Come eat with us.
Yeah, I think we ate 3 times on the way back to
so.
the pickup.
Yeah.
I really regretted not having some of the cake and ice cream though that was at the Team Fenner trailer.
Yeah, I got in trouble because I turned down some of that, and I apologize. It was nothing personal, but I did kind of get yelled at for not for not taking some. So next time I definitely will.
Bev will not let us buy without eating cake next time.
Exactly. Yep.
But isn't that what's kind of cool about the track? Like, I mean, that's just the camaraderie, and
yeah,
it was good. We could have. The drive home was a little rough. Like I was figuring, if we're out of here by 5, we'll be home by 10. So rolling out of there by like 8:30, 9 o'clock made the drive hard. But
we got home before 3.
I don't really remember. I'm glad you drove the last couple hours to the rain.
I hate them long drives at night. I mean, I'm more dangerous for falling asleep than I would be for, drinking and driving. I think, like, if I'm tired behind the wheel, it's just I can't do anything. Like, I hit my face 100 times, put the window down, like nothing works.
Mm-hmm. You have to listen to heavy metal loud. That'll wake you right up.
I could try that next time.
It doesn't work when you have your wife with you.
It's been scary. I'd be driving the motorhome with the trailer behind you, trying to get to Gainesville. 20-something hour drive, and you have 3 hours left, and you're just trying to push through, and it's just you're swerving, and it's bad.
Yeah.
But we have some rather sad news here that the man who started Norwalk's famed Summit Motorsports Park, Bill Bader Sr., passed away this weekend in an accident, I believe I read. And that was sad. It was like during their national event. I think it was during Sunday eliminations, from what I was told.
You mean an accident at the track?
I don't think it was at the track. I think he was driving somewhere or doing something and got in an accident. So if somebody can comment and let us know exactly, or not exactly what happened, but like some better details than what I just gave out, that would be helpful.
2 days ago, this from Yahoo News. Bill Bader Sr., 79, the former longtime owner of Summit Motorsports Park drag strip, died in an accident near his home on Sunday in northern Idaho. His son, current track owner Bill Bader Jr., who's been on the show, made the announcement late Sunday night. Quote, "It is with a heavy heart that I share the news that this afternoon my dad was involved in an accident on the mountain he so deeply loved and passed away. I will share more information as it becomes available. Know that my father loved you." The news came just hours after the final of the 15th annual NHRA Summit Racing Nationals held at the famed Norwalk track that Bill Bader Sr. built. Bader Sr. purchased the inoperable drag strip named Norwalk Dragway in April 1974 at the age of 27. He slowly transformed the track, later named Norwalk Raceway, into the gym it is today. He was the creator of the wildly popular Night Under Fire exhibition event held yearly in August. The annual sold-out event will see its 44th edition this season. And it goes on. You can check it out. That was 2 days ago. That's when that was on yahoonews.com. So, bummer.
After talking to them, it's interesting to see why it grew, because they're awesome people. But we all know it was the ice cream by the pound that really pushed it over the top.
Yeah.
And they stuck with it.
Certainly didn't hurt.
Raised with inflation.
I did hear, I was talking to someone at the track on Friday about, the show a little bit and, getting some ideas from them about things that they'd like to see or whatever. And one of the comments was the Bader Jr. episode, the interview you guys did. If anyone that's in business doesn't listen to that interview, they're missing out, was the comment to me, because it was such a dynamite. The content was phenomenal. And I agree. I mean, that guy's fantastic. So if he's anything like his dad was, what a loss.
Amen. Oh, man. Terrible news. So rest in peace, Bill Bader Sr. We have an update on Will Monroe, the young gentleman that got injured at Cecil County Dragway. His mother says they are moving him soon out of the hospital and hopefully into an outpatient rehab. And things are moving along. He was speaking more, saying, she saw him from across the room, I read in one post, and he was just going like this. And she said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I have practicing the trans brake with my left hand now."
Really?
His right hand is injured. So, and he says he's got to get a new race car. So I'm sure that nothing's going to keep that kid out of a car, eventually. He's probably fired up and ready to get back into one, which is amazing, because after a crash like that, I don't know. Some people might not ever want to get back in a car after something like that. I don't know that I would want to. I might be afraid for the rest of my life. Who knows? But this kid sounds like he's pretty fearless. So I hope it works out for him. I hope he can get back in a car as soon as possible. And anybody that has any more updates on Will Monroe, please comment. Oh yeah, Brian and Craig, remember we were talking about that DRAG, the NHRA.
Oh yeah, the announcer
group
program. Yeah,
their first meeting is today at 2 p.m. for anybody that's interested. It's a Zoom meeting, so if you haven't signed up, go ahead and sign up for the NHRA drag program by Brian Loans. I guess you'll get, some education from the man himself, and he's a phenomenal announcer, and I want to learn everything I can from him as well. So 2 p.m. Eastern time today, 2 p.m. Eastern time, a Zoom meeting. So you have a couple hours to get registered if you want.
And you can find that out at nhra.com, the news section. It's in there. That's cool.
And then last but not least announcement, the one that's causing a big stir right now, is the parity adjustment. It's always a parity adjustment when it involves Fords, right, Brian? So the Cobra Jet, well, according to NHRA, they've evaluated the 5 races that have taken place for the factory stock showdown, and they've decided that, I don't know, the Cobra Jet's just going a little bit too fast here, winning when it shouldn't be. So they're going to reduce the 2019 Cobra Jet, the 327 supercharged. They're going to reduce the supercharger overdrive, they say, by changing the upper supercharger pulley from 3.625 inches to 3.75 inches. So bigger pulley, less spin, the deal. So that's their way of, I guess, slowing down the Cobra Jets a little bit and creating parity within the class. And I don't really get involved with factory stock like that because I don't have one. I don't drive in it. But does it seem like they make these parity adjustments a little bit more often when Ford's winning versus when other brands are winning? Somebody comment and let me know what you think. All right, Brian, what do you think? I see you smiling over there. Does it have is there a correlation here that there was, there's been Chevrolet Performance, U.S. Nationals, and there was for years Chevrolet sponsoring. Now it's like the Dodge Nationals, and even the one I was fortunate enough to win is like the Mopar Express Lane Nationals. There's no Ford billing. There's no Ford Nationals. Does that mean...
Don't you need to talk to your people about that?
Does that mean... No, I want them to save that money for contingency for me. But it makes me wonder sometimes, you got to keep the main sponsors happy, and they got to stay winning.
Have you seen the new Mustang?
With that eco, the little SUV,
the E thing.
Yeah.
They spent all their money on that. So
are they throwing all their cash toward other race classes? I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what they're throwing their money at. I just know that every time I read the news and how everybody's switching to the electric vehicles, and administrative decisions are forcing
Well, wasn't it Tasca
forcing us all to get out of racing?
Didn't Tasca say that E is where it's at? That's where it's all headed.
He was approaching it from a businessman point of view, and that was, let me get out in front of it and make money off of it. Mm-hmm. So can't fault him for that. But he also said this is not...
but if that's what he's hearing from the inside, that's where they're going. I mean, what are the odds that's where they're trying to go?
He also told us that the chip shortage was going to be over in 6 months.
Yeah,
and how long ago was that episode?
We got the Hellcat, we got the Yenko Camaro, and then we have the E Mustang.
I definitely don't. I like the fact that Dodge is like last man standing when it comes to building muscle here. It sounds like they're still going to crank out some more. But what's up with the Copo? Is that done now again? I feel like that one, they're discontinuing that after 2023. This is like your last chance to order one, from what I read recently.
It's a good marketing strategy, that's all.
That's what I'm hoping. Take a year off. Bring it back. Robert Keister. Big shout out to the Eastburn family. I guess that's Jeff and Josh Eastburn, who is going to allow the Monroe family to stay at their house while they bring the motorhome down from New Hampshire when they pick Will up. So that's
cool.
Josh Eastburn, Jeff Eastburn, they race Top Dragster, Super Comp, Super Stock, and they own Hoops Fire Safety Equipment. So shout out to them. We got a couple messages here. Who do we got? Sheila Holt. Stan and Sheila Holt. So we don't know if it's Stan or Sheila. Happy birthday, Bobby. Thank you very much.
We just assume it's both of them.
We all know who it is.
Fast Eddie Beidler, Superstock Bobby Fazio. Happy birthday. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Peter Lanciers. Now, Ray Thurston
I don't know if that's a good one.
Ray Thurston says, yeah, right. Another year older and deeper in debt. Thanks. Lollipops. So I guess Ray was saying I need to eat lollipops while driving late at night like that. Maybe that does work. Okay.
Actually, you know what does work? Bucky's Cinnamon Bears.
If it's sugary, yes, that helps. But I can't eat. I cannot eat. I have to starve myself. It's the only way I can stay awake. If I eat something, it's lights out. Boom.
Really?
Done. I've had that problem ever since I was in grammar school. After lunch, trying to come back and go to class.
Grammar school? Where are you from? Is that what we call it?
I call it elementary school, but I'm trying to appeal to the crowd here.
Wait a second. That's an old term. What are you saying?
What do you guys call it?
Elementary, but grammar school is an old term. Is the assumption that
but
most
he is
of the
older
crowd
now.
is old?
He is old now.
I'm 39 now. I have to speak in older
That's right.
terms.
Buckle up.
All right, let me continue with my announcements. Or was that the last one? No, I think that was the last one. Okay.
All right, we did have a quick couple minutes to sit down, chat with Charlie of Midwest Class Racers at the track. So let's throw that up, and then we'll talk about it.
So Brian Anderson of Class Racing today. Here I'm with Charlie. Charlie is kind of the brainchild or the creator of the Race of Champions for the Midwest Class Racers.
Yes, we decided, since we had such a great class, Midwest Class Racers was a tremendous program, we wanted to elevate it. The guys were always asking, well, what about points? You know, who's the champion of the year? And I said, well, let's do it this way. We came up with an idea as a board of directors, say, okay, let's take every winner from our 16 races, or, well, actually 24 races, and we'll have a race of champions. And if we have double winners and we don't have enough to 16 cars, we'll draw from the runner-ups and have alternates. And then we run for $5,000 to win, $1,000 runner-up, and it just gives an extra incentive for our regular class racers for each race to have another bonus race.
Well, it's really cool, and we're lucky to have you as integral part of the association as what you are, so we appreciate you doing this for us. What are your thoughts about today? What are you thinking?
Well, it's been a great race. We had a couple breaks, which in our stick race, prior to our Race of Champions, we have a stick race. We had a couple breakages, which was unfortunate, but the race has been going very well, and soon we'll be starting the Race of Champions and crowning not only the Race of Champions, but the stick challenge also.
So far, and I don't know about years past, but we've already had 2 heads-ups, first 2 rounds of the stick shootout. What are your thoughts there?
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And we just had one just now, and I like the heads up. Unfortunately, some cars are a little faster than others, but that's the way it goes. We have scales, we weigh them, so we want to run it as fair as we can. And going back to the Race of Champions, the other way we want to keep it as fair as we can, we run a qualifier. You have to qualify, and it's all laddered, so no sandbagging. You got to qualify.
Yeah, do you got any early predictions? Who do you think's got it?
We got some good cars. Jason DeForest is our defending champion. Now he's got 2 incentives. One, not to get beat because someone gets $200 if they beat him. But he's got a real big incentive to repeat because we're going to give him a $2,000 bonus if he repeats. So Jason, he's been very tough in the race champions.
So am I wrong in saying, didn't Larry make it? Is he racing Dad now for the championship? Did Larry make it in or not?
No, Larry was a first alternate.
Okay.
So he didn't, unfortunately or fortunately for the alternates, we didn't have anybody break. So we had all 16 qualifiers here. So we didn't have any alternates. Like last year, we had one of the cars break, and we did have one of the alternates in, but we had no alternates in the race this year.
Ooh, cutting news.
Oh, Larry's in? Yeah. Well, that's
going to be a long ride home, then. That's what I thought.
No, I did not know that. Yeah, so they're racing heads up. See, that's all new to me.
Well, yeah, that'll be fun. So who do you got, Larry or Jason, on that one?
Well, I got to go with the Ford.
Well, you might be wrong, but you got to be somewhere. Well, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, and thanks for everything you're doing and your support. It's really cool, and the sponsorship and the help you brought to this association is what makes it great. So
well, it's so much fun, and it's like a family. I couldn't be happier to be a part of it, and we want to make it grow. We want to grow Midwest Class Racers. We welcome all stock, super stock racers to come join us. It's a lot of fun. I know we're up against Norwalk, and we had some of the racers that went to Norwalk, but we understand that. But we'll always have an open place for you to run stock, super stock.
Any idea what the total count is so far?
Here we had 30 cars in our stick challenge, and we had, I don't know how many are entered in the stock, super stock combo. I don't know that. Obviously, we have 16 cars in our Race of Champions.
Well, they're still rolling in, so I mean, I think it's going to be a great weekend and great racing. So
yeah, I would say we're going to be close to 100 cars in our combo.
Awesome.
I would guess that.
You know, and where the tracks, we got to support the tracks we have and the way the times are and economic times. It's nice that we can have this place to go. So.
Oh, and Rock Falls, what Jim Greenheck and Dean Lee and his crew have done on this racetrack is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, if nothing else, you should just come to this racetrack to see what they've done. It's such a beautiful setting. They have phenomenal facilities, and it's going to grow.
And they keep it hopping. Like, we're trying to run around and talk to people. We don't have time. It's like they're staging and they just keep running. So, I mean, that's the neat thing. I mean, they're really moving cars through here fast.
You're not sitting around. No, we're not. And tomorrow will even be probably more frenetic. We got some rain tomorrow probably, so we'll run them a little quicker. But yeah, we try to keep it going. Nothing worse than just sitting around. So we want to have action.
Well, thanks for your support, and it's been fun to come up here and hang out. So thank you.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. Hey, Bobby Fazio, you better be here next year.
Good old Charlie.
It looks fun. I'm gonna try. Is it usually in the same part of the year, like always in late June, or?
Yep.
Okay.
So what was kind of cool about it is I'd heard that somebody had broken the stick race and Larry was coming. Or he was first round alternate. So, they kind of do it like, I do it like Indy, right? So you're sitting there waiting. If somebody breaks, you can pull right up for first round. But then they were actually on opposite sides of the ladder the way it works. So it could have had Larry on one side and Jason on the other. And we thought that'd have been a pretty cool final. But
it got close. Because didn't Larry make it to the runner up?
Yep. Bogner beat Larry to go to the final. And then
Jason lost in the final.
Yep.
Barely. Yeah.
Yep.
So no, but he had quite the incentive to win.
I think they both went dead on, I think, didn't they?
Was that the race that they did?
I'm trying to remember. It was really close, but David Bogner ended up winning. DeForest got second, so runner up.
Yeah, that's really cool.
The stick race was neat too, because we had
Parsons.
Yep, Jim Parsons, who I've seen him around, but he's been kind of the man, the myth, the legend, right? Like you see the car, and I just never really went up and looked at that close at that car, and it's a really cool story behind that thing, and it was neat to see him. And we went up to talk to him, like, "Hey, can we talk to you about your car?" And he's like, "After I lose."
Yeah, he's like, "Wait till I lose."
He just kept going rounds and just like beating and thrash, like just. So we had to sit there and wait because we had to talk to him about his car.
Right. It was our last chat.
And then, he ended up winning.
He bought that car brand new in 1966.
Got drafted to Vietnam
at 19. He was 19, I think.
Yep.
And he has it still. Still has the original motor, doesn't he? Didn't he say?
Yeah, not in the car, but
yeah, but he has it. That's pretty cool.
His wife drove it as a street car.
The ones where they got drafted and came back and bought it, or they bought it, got drafted, had like a relative watch it for them while they were gone. And
his wife was driving it as like her car while he was in Vietnam. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
I think it was like $3,000 or something like that. $3,500. I don't know.
You could buy something so amazing in the late 60s for $3,500.
Well, but what is that adjusted for inflation?
Say $15,000 or something. Look that up on a calculator. You guys ended up having, I think I saw a qualifying sheet, 104 cars. So that's quite a turnout for an association race, right?
Jim Parsons won the stick race. Johnny DeCamo was runner up. So that was pretty cool. And then, so for the combo race, I think I sent you the sheet. I should know this. You know me, I just kind of wing it. But there was 100 and some cars. But man, the air changed. Like they had, I think it was like 1,500 foot air with pretty good tailwind, and they were honking on that second qualifying on Sunday.
I saw a couple 130 underpasses.
Yeah, it was definitely like for us, like that's East Coast air. Like we only see you guys running that stuff. We'd never get that opportunity. But then you had
$3,500 is $34,000 in today's money.
Still can't buy one for that.
No, not like that. Yeah,
that's kind of insane.
That from what, like 1968, $3,400?
Well, $1 in 1960 is the equivalent of $9.87 today.
Okay.
So if you make $100,000 today, what would that have been in 1960?
Just what, 10 grand?
10 grand.
$11,000.
Yeah.
Boy, that would make things simple.
I know. So I can't yell at like my relatives anymore. $3,500 for the car. Why don't you just buy the whole lot?
Right. Like, well, why don't you, pal?
Because we weren't millionaires, buddy. Right. But so the interesting thing on the combo race is, so it came down to Mans versus DeForest in the final. And
Mike Mans, right?
Yep.
In a super stock car? And
friend of the show.
Yes. So, backstory, I guess, is in the semifinals, Mans had something weird happen, and the data was off, and the car had a little issue or perceived issue, slowed up. So he's digging and looking and trying to figure out what went wrong. What went wrong? I hope you don't get mad at me for sharing this, but anyway, something on the graph didn't look right. It looked like there was an issue. So they're thrashing around trying to find that. You're getting ready to go up the first round, the final. So dial a little soft, right? Like you're not sure what it's going to do. It's been exactly the same, all except for the semifinal run, the situation none of us want to be in. So I'm guessing he softened up the dial a little bit. No idea really what the car is going to do. Race goes down. He gets to the end. He's whapping it at like 500 feet. Drive it. What's impressive is I think it was 7/10,000ths of a second was the margin of victory. He's whapping that thing and trying to drive it from 500 feet to the end. Like, not the ideal result. He got runner up, but that's still pretty cool. Like, he said one less whap, would have probably took the stripe and would have won.
It's crazy when it's that close.
That's impressive, yeah.
That's the part that's wild to me, being new to this thing. To watch it is, I mean, it's all electronic, so you can't complain theoretically. But to be that tight and lose by, less than that, it's just crazy to think about. This is like barrel racing. It's got to break the eyeball properly.
You just have to be so damn good for 9 or 10 seconds, and there's no if you mess up. It's not like Kenny Mealy said last week. It's not like round racing where you have a bunch of laps that you can kind of
adjust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's similar to golf in a way.
Yeah.
You got to practice consistently and then be able to repeat that when it matters.
But all you got to do is flinch or hesitate. That's the difference. Like in that race, it paid $5,000 to win that combo race.
Yeah.
Hopefully they were splitting some of that.
No, they don't split it.
Makes your flinch not as painful.
Well, and the thing that's impressive that I really like about Mike too is he hasn't been racing that much. So just to a couple times last year, get in the car and just be able to execute, and it says a lot about the preparation they spend and just the system that they've developed is pretty impressive. And it's hard to not cheer for DeForest too. They're just some of my favorite people at the track also. So it was two titans in our area battling it out in the finals. Kind of cool.
Yeah, there should have been a lot of side bets going on. You should have made it a best of 3.
That's funny. So we're hopefully everybody that knows Larry DeForest, we've been putting the pressure pretty hard on him to come on the show, and he's still kind of trying to be reluctant.
He's balking a little bit.
We're gonna get him on. He just needs a little side pressure from anybody that knows him. Tell him he needs to come on.
I even said he could bring his cigar. So
is he camera shy or
no.
bougie?
He just doesn't like us.
Or option C. Yep.
Nice.
We I don't know if we can tell this story. We probably tell this story. So we're hanging out at the camp waiting for him to come out, and somebody was talking about, what was it? Something about the air. Like, oh man, the cars are gonna be fast because look, their hair isn't frizzy. So the humidity in the air and how the hair is laying. Well, Larry's got pretty nice hair, long hair. We're like, it's just like his weather station. Like he literally takes it with him.
Good, right? Yeah. Old school. It works.
Yeah.
Like a divining rod.
If you're having a good hair day, you're probably not gonna be that fast, So we missed a couple of results. We didn't talk about Brainerd last week. And I wanted to touch base on that. Actually, it was 2 weeks ago now, wasn't it? But friend of the show, Craig Maddox, was the winner for his 4th Lucas Oil Wally. What's cool about that race, he raced Dwayne Scheitland, another guy that we run into quite a bit around here.
That guy's always, I'm always seeing that guy's name in the late rounds. Scheitland.
Yep.
He's got that black Challenger, right? 440 6-pack.
Is it that or is it a blue Charger? don't remember. It doesn't say. I'm looking at Drag Insights. Does it say what they have for a car?
If you go to the qualifying order, yeah.
What was cool about this race is Shetland was 105, had a 105 package, and Maddox had a 104. I mean, you're 0.18 feet. 2 inches at the stripe.
It's amazing that they could even pick that up down there. That's
70 Challenger is what he's running.
Yeah.
That thing was going 8,200 in Brainerd or Denver. Someday I'll make it there. First, we got to get the car running.
We got who won Superstock there then? And Brainerd, right? Is that?
No,
I know
Denver.
Aiden Patterson won Superstock.
Are we talking about Denver, like we were just talking, or Brainerd?
Yeah, which one were you talking? Were we doing
about Denver.
Brainerd or Denver?
I was doing Denver.
Oh, you were doing Denver. Okay. Denver. Yeah, Denver was Aiden Patterson. Factory Superstock F. And he got the win over Carol Warling, GTO automatic, 1130 ETs. Aiden Patterson was going 1020s.
So the cool thing of that car, you've probably never seen that car, but Carol Warling has a really awesome. What is that? It's like a 74. I wish I knew what that car was. It's like a Le Mans. It's kind of cool. Like, it's something you don't see all the time.
A 74 Pontiac? Is it like a big boat?
Yeah. Yep. It's got lines, like what cars I've forgotten about. Somebody listening has to know what that car is.
Somebody comment. Let us know what was Carol Warling, GTO automatic.
I always see them at Kearney. I just can't remember what the car was. It's not your typical Camaro or Mustang or Nova. It's pretty cool.
And then what did you say? Wasn't there another race that we were going to cover or give results for?
Did we talk about Brainerd Divisional?
When was that?
You just talking about that?
No, this was Bandimere.
Oh, sorry.
Dwayne has the black Challenger. See, I know what I'm talking about 25% of half the time. Thank you, Brian Zinzen. Thank you, Billy Gibbs. Appreciate it. Everett Vassar, truck stop coffee, the kind that carries a warning. Oh.
That's the quality stuff. Typically, you pour it onto the counter and it stands up in the cup shape. You're good.
Slides out.
Right.
What I don't get is the iced coffee thing. Like, we tried to do at the truck stop. Like, I can order an iced coffee from somebody that knows how to make iced coffee, and it's significantly different than when I try to do it at the truck stop. Apparently, I'm not qualified.
I've never been into iced coffee. I don't even know if I've ever had one. Even if it's like 90 degrees outside and I get a coffee, it has to just be a hot one. 74 Le Mans for Carol. Yep. That's what you said there, Brian. I wonder what engine combo he's got in there to be in GTO automatic. Does he have like a big, like the 400 Pontiac motor or the 428 out of like 1968 that people run, or is it like a 400 motor, or is he running like a 350 Chevy in there? So if anybody knows that, let us know. I wish they would put that on entry list and on the little weight sticker on the cars. Like, I want to know, it should have year and cubic inch. Just say that.
Some people might not want that on there, Bobby.
Well, it's got to be public knowledge, right? It's public knowledge for everybody that's not running GT. So, and it's public knowledge for everybody that's running stock, we hope.
Oh, there was one more thing about being at the track. Old Johnny McLaughlin, afterward, he cooked, what was it, a seafood boil? And crab legs, shrimp. And we were done, and he's like, oh man, we should have done an episode, like filmed John's kitchen at the track. So next time, we'll get that.
There's a lot of ideas right there for next year.
Oh yeah. I think we need a booth set up with a whole studio on, like, in a booth, and just have people roll through, do live shows.
We talked about trying to do that at Brainerd, but I don't know. NHA might get mad at us.
Well,
nah, I don't think they care that much.
More people will watch our coverage probably.
I think back in the day they cared more, and I know they were telling people to stop, and a couple of people got in trouble. But I don't know. They've been pretty cool with me. The only thing they told me was don't put. They didn't like when I put my camera in my car and filmed my opponent chasing me down. So
we're going to refer to that as Bobby Gate.
I like it. Yeah. Yep. What did they call Bo Belichick in the NFL when he got caught doing that?
He let the air out of a ball, didn't he?
Oh, that was
Spygate.
Spygate. There it is.
I still to this day don't understand what was wrong with doing that, but you're filming the other team and their signs, and you're studying. To me, you're outworking your competition. That's all I'm going to say about that. That's something I probably would have done. Like, let's try and pick up their signs.
Well, and it presumes that the only way you can read their lips is if you film them. People are watching them. So what's the difference?
Or they just have one of those fancy microphones like we brought to the track where you could literally just point it and hear what they're saying.
Isn't that the whole point of signs? So you don't, like, if you weren't allowed to listen or observe the other team's signs, wouldn't we just, like, tell people what to do? Bunt on this play. Like,
right.
No, that's why we do signs. That's why you have an indicator. That's why you have a fake
Deflate
indicator.
Gate, Everett. Like, that's it. Deflate Gate. That's old Brady. That's fine. He's the best. You let the best do whatever they want to do. No big deal.
So after having to go to I shouldn't say having, because I'm a parent and I need to support my kid, but baseball, I'm trying to understand it. I was sitting there the other day and I'm like, all these people seem to really be enjoying this. Like, what am I missing? But they didn't even have any cool signs. At least normally they're like, doing all the crazy stuff. And like, this guy's just standing there looking at I'm like, this isn't even interesting. Like,
you're the wrong level of baseball.
Yeah. You could pretty much predict there's always going to be 2 strikes, 3 balls, and either the kid's getting hit by the ball and walked, or he's getting walked. Like, I'm not really a statistician, but I'm guessing at least 70% of the time that's how it ends.
That's pretty good that they're getting 2 strikes. When I go to my stepson's game, it's like 18 balls in a row. So walk. All right, this team batted 50 times. It's just time for the inning to end and let the next team hit now.
Oh, brother, speaking of baseball, for some dumb reason, 2 nights ago, I turned on a Mariners game with Baltimore. 4th inning, 2 outs, the batter up. 12 pitches to this one batter. I think 11 of them were foul balls. Then that 12th one, the home run. Next guy up, first pitch, home run.
Oh, wore him out.
I know. It's crazy.
When I was batting leadoff, that was my job. See a lot of pitches.
Well, and then apparently, because we jumped into the 4th inning, in the 3rd inning, Baltimore did back-to-back home runs also off the same pitcher. At that point, you pull them. I mean, he had 100 pitches in 4 innings. That's a lot.
Well, I watched Bryce Harper get hit in the thumb by a 97-mile-an-hour fastball 2 days ago. So he's not playing tonight, and that's where we're going for my birthday, to the Phillies game. So,
well,
that looked painful. Oh, God.
Yeah,
he was so mad. Like I was reading his lips. He yelled at the pitcher, and the pitcher was like, "It wasn't." I don't think the pitcher did it on purpose. Sometimes they do throw at people on purpose. I don't think he did it on purpose. And you could see Harper say like something like, like yelled at the pitcher, and then you saw him say, "I know you didn't mean to do it."
Nice.
There's a lot of trash talk. Like my kid was so my oldest, he's a little guy, he's 6'3", probably 220 now. He'll be 15 here in a couple weeks.
You should not have to pay for that kid to go to college.
And but the funny thing was, he's sitting there and he's first base. Like the players and the coach, and we played a local town, and they're good. Like they were all crushing it, and they 10-run ruled them in the 5th inning, the first game. And but they're like smack talking, like just complete smack talk. I mean, here's this little like midget next to my son just talking crap. I'm like, maybe you should just punch him in the face. Like, I don't want.
Kid from the other team, a little kid was talking that was losing 10-0.
No, we lost 10-0. Like they were destroying us, but like let's have a little like.
Yeah, your son could have moved his elbow accidentally in the direction of that kid's face.
He said something. I don't remember. My kid said something. How kids are, and he goes something about like, "Oh, you're pretty cool for being the second game first baseman or something." And I don't know. There's a good reason I probably don't play sports, because I'm like, when they're running and you're gonna I just smoke the kid with the ball, hit him in the elbow so he can't hit next time, or do something like that. Or when you got to tag him across the face. Like,
it's a terrible idea.
That's why I don't get overly involved.
That's why you're not the coach, clearly.
After losing 10-0, did you guys petition to have the rules changed, or have the other team, a parity adjustment or anything like that?
Come on. No, we need to have less errors.
They're only allowed to play with 8 players in the field now instead of 9.
Oh,
ClassRacingToday.com. If you're listening or watching on YouTube, we encourage you to subscribe, if you would, because the more subscribers we get, the more reach we have, and the better this show can get, because we can attract more people. So if you would do that, that would be wonderful. We would appreciate it very much. Subscribe on YouTube, Class Racing Today. ClassRacingToday.com for more information. And if you want to support the show, we are funded mostly by the value for value model, where you choose the value you get out of the show. We put the content out there. We go out and get the people and put it out there for free. You don't have to buy to watch. But if you get value out of it, we all place value on things. I mean, how many of us have 17 streaming options in our houses right now? And there's value on that, but they set the value. Like Netflix says, this is how much it's worth. Well, we don't want to do that. We want to let you choose the value. So if it's worth $1, wonderful. If it's worth $1,000, wonderful. All of it is welcome and much appreciated. So you can do that. ClassRacingToday.com. Click on the donate button, and you choose the value. And we thank you all for doing that. We do also have a few corporate sponsors that have jumped in occasionally, and we appreciate that as well. So if that's something you want to do, classracingtoday@gmail.com. Send us a note. We'll connect and talk some details. So anyway, classracingtoday.com is that.
How are the points looking, Bobby? You checked that out lately? I see Santangelo won Norwalk.
Well, the national points in stock, I have Mike Cotton as number 1.
Well, Paulin says hi. Y'all.
Hi, y'all. Let me make sure I am on the right page here. But yeah, let's go through these points real quick. So, loading. Mike Cotton's number 1 in stock eliminated. He's got 473 points, 5 nationals, 5 divisionals. Brad Burton, number 2. Leo Glassbrenner, number 3. Scott Burton, number 4. Tim Stickles, number 5. Gutters by Design. Tim Stickles is a good guy. He's a Division 1 racer and runs the Malibu Blues car. And then in Superstock, Greg Stanfield, he raced, I don't know, a couple times earlier this year and won every single one of them. So he's number 1. Ryan McClanahan's number 2. Brian Warner, number 3. Larry McClanahan, no relation, number 4. Justin Lamb, number 5. That's national points. And then factory stock national points. We got Bill Skillman, number 1. David Barton, number 2. Lenny Lodig, number 3. Aaron Stanfield, number 4. Dave Janik, number 5. A Ford, a Camaro, a Camaro, a Camaro, a Camaro. But
Parity adjustment.
Right.
I want to give a shout out to Tyler Bohannon for winning Superstock.
Oh man, he's been killing it lately. And then I saw a post where he won Norwalk on Saturday, and then it said they wired in a delay box Saturday night or something in time for Sunday for a big money race somewhere. I don't know how he did there. Did he win that too?
Not sure.
Yeah, so he wins a lot.
Santangelo was in the final in stock and super stock.
He was at Norwalk, and then my favorite my favorite critic. I don't want to use the word complainer. My favorite critic, Mark Iacovone, is always giving me shit about my Dragon Sights power rankings, about how like he still doesn't get it that we're not putting the top 10 predictions in, like we're putting random people in and just their percentage next to it. So he's yelling at me for not, I didn't include Santangelo in the power rankings this week because he's been in them like 4 times already. So I'm trying to put different names in there. And he was like, I don't need a computer program to know that Santangelo is going to be in the final. So I was like, well, that's why he's in the field. Do you see how high the field probability is here? It's like 18%. It's as high as the number 2 driver up there. So thanks, Mark Iacovone, for always making my day better on race day. I wonder if he watches this show. I don't think he does.
So let's talk about Dragon Sights a little bit. We got some changes coming that we want to talk about.
A lot of new stats in there. Interesting stats.
What are they changing?
Well, there's going to be profile changes where you can put in, under your name, there will be your year, make, and model. I mean, this is all optional for you to put in. An area to put in your sponsors and give them some notice and some publicity, free publicity. Anything that you parts, specs on your not specs, but like if what kind of oil you use, what kind of tires you use, anything like that. If you want it, because you might have a tire sponsor and you want that company to get noticed. So things like that, as far as driver profiles, and you can already put your picture in there. And we want to have it like so you can interact with each other, maybe do some posting, maybe message other users. And then as far as stats go, it's just we already had your left lane stats versus your right lane stats, your reaction time in both lanes. But now you can see your average reaction time when you're leaving first versus when you're leaving second, your win percentage when you leave first versus leaving second, the number of times you cross the finish line first versus second, your win percentage when crossing first versus crossing second. There's all kinds of stuff in there now. Average margin of victory, I believe, crossing first, crossing second. More stuff than I can remember right now, but it's just we just keep finding more and more things to put in there from racers' feedback and from user feedback. And we have the contingency program. So don't want to miss out on that. Anybody that's a premium member, make sure you're signed up for contingency. We're going to make that easier, by the way. When you sign up for your premium membership, it's automatically going to sign you up for contingency. Just due to some limitations currently, you had to do that separately. And it was creating a loophole. People that were premium members weren't signing up for contingency, and people that weren't premium members were signing up for contingency. So that was something that we had to fix, and that's been fixed.
You ship out stickers to put on the car?
Yes. You tell us how many cars you have, and we send that many stickers. So if you run 2 classes, 3 classes, doesn't matter. You just sign up one time. You don't have to.
That's cool.
It's not that kind of program. We have to sign up for each car. Anything crazy like that.
It's kind of crazy how
we have like lots of cool, win runner up. You get extra. You get a year added to your subscription or 6 months. And we're gonna do like cool things. Like if you win class at Indy, I think we're gonna do contingency for that. Like you can you'll get an extension on your membership. I want to start doing more and more things, giving it out for different races. I just have to clear it with the boss, though. Alicia's the boss when it comes to that part.
It's kind of crazy how that thing has evolved in the last. Has it been 6-9 months? How long is Drag Insights?
Yeah, I'd say about 9 months. And the biggest, advancements, like you said, have probably been within the last 2 months. So, somebody that logged on 9 months ago and maybe didn't see enough or didn't like what they saw or just didn't know how to use it, I really think you should probably get in there now. You're going to see it's a whole different ballgame in there now.
Well, I might have to cancel I'm going to have to quit using it because I don't know how excited I am that this is our farewell Bobby Fazio show. You're
jumping ship? No. no. Moving up.
Getting called into the bigs going. It's kind of a sad day.
You have that song, Craig, from the Jeffersons? Moving on.
Oh, shoot. If YouTube wouldn't kick us off, we would.
What if Bobby sings it?
There you go.
Is it technically?
I don't know.
Well,
that could be
how close he is. Yeah.
No, definitely not moving on up to anything. I'm gonna be hard pressed to have production expertise like this. But yep, taking my driver interviews to the next level, I guess, if you will, and taking working a lot more on Drag Insights to make it the best sportsman drag racing app for everybody that's been using it. And I'm the type of person, I get started on something, I get obsessed with something, and then I just keep trying to make it better and better and better. And that is definitely the case with Drag Insights and driver interviews, and was the case with this podcast. So I appreciate everything. This podcast definitely gave me, a start. It was a phone call that was like, let's try a podcast. And I was like, I don't know how to do that kind of stuff. And now it's turned into this. So, and we've been going for almost 2 years now. This is
60. Is this 67?
67 episodes.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. And just looking back on the different array of people that have been on as guests is very cool. So, that'll continue. It'll just be a little different as we go forward. And of course, Bobby will be, I'm sure, popping back up on occasion as he's free. But,
he'll be our guest every time
right?
that he thinks Ford's unjustly corrected.
Every time a Ford gets mistreated, I'll be on, so I'll probably see you on a weekly basis.
We can either put him on video or just watch his comments and block him as they're popping
Awesome,
up.
yes. He's back. Dang it. Put him in timeout.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of crazy when you think about 67 episodes.
Yeah, and this all kind of was birthed out of a need for content about this very specific branch of drag racing. And it's kind of wild because it pulled me in. I don't race obviously, but it's been a fascinating ride just for me to get information and see how it goes, and then to see the people that do it. It really is a group of pretty amazing people. So it's been good for me. So it'll be a bummer to see you go, but hopefully driver interviews will continue to grow on the YouTube.
The show must go on.
The show must go on.
We're gonna have to have. Maybe you could be like the factory Ford consultant. Like,
not me. No. I have a few ideas in mind for that. Maybe you should get Skillman on here or Holbrook and anybody that runs those cars, and that can tell you exactly what's going on with them.
I see our guests leaning a lot more to the Mopar and GM crowd now.
Brian's single-minded. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm not single-minded. You have Mopar and
sorry,
you have
two of them.
GM.
Right?
Like,
that's like walking into the one door and going either to the right or the left.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, that's all right. Well,
did anybody see that? The NHRA just came out with a PlayStation game, by the way, and it looks really cool. But I was just sad to see. First thing I was looking at is, do they have any stock and super stock in it?
Is there none?
No, it doesn't look like it. It's just the pro categories.
Gross.
Where did I see that? Where did I see that was being talked about? I don't know. It might have been.
Wouldn't that have been cool? Just puts a smidge in there, an add-on.
The Street Outlaws game has more realistic looking cars than the NHRA one. That's the problem.
Oh, it's terrible. Now, Craig, I'm sure, like, even though you're not a racer and you really weren't into this until you kind of met us, did you appreciate just like stock and super stock, seeing cars from like the 60s kind of going down the track and doing wheelies? Is that something that you thought was cool for at least?
Well, I've been, as a photographer, that's my job. I've been into old cars forever. I lived by a guy when I was young who was restoring a 57 Chevy truck. And so I would just go and help him wet sand the thing, and he was working on it. Turned out beautifully, not because of me, but because of what he did. So from then on, I bet I was 10, 11 when I was helping with that. So it really was a cool window into that world. So it is phenomenal to see some of these vehicles doing what they do. It's wild. And then, the technical side of it all is just crazy, but it's cool to watch basically an old car show
and that's
run down
and that's
the track.
The part that we have to explain to everybody that isn't familiar with the classes. They're not only doing what they do, but they're doing it with the engines that came in the car for that year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the part that really blows people's minds at national events when they walk by and they say, "Hey, nice car. Like what do you have in there? Like a 347, stroker or something?" And I'm like, "Nah, like in these classes you have to run
Right.
This is a 65 Mustang. It came with a 289. That's what it has to run." Mm-hmm. And then they're just mind blown. And then they always say, "Well, when are you racing again?" And it's usually, "I lost yesterday, so I'm done for the weekend." But that's the thing. That's the way I'm pitching it at races. So any way you can get some new people to take a look, is a great way.
The interesting thing of watching Craig at the track is there was a whole like AV experience. He's like, "I think we could stream this better. I think we could, like in just the pictures he took of the cars and even like the clips, like Craig's very talented in the audio, video, picture. I remember I used to have a term for him, artsy fartsy, I think, or something, but like just what he can do with the camera and some of that's pretty neat. And that was one conversation we had on the way back, is maybe doing something, growing it and expanding, is do something where maybe we'll go to one of these MCR races and set up and do like a live stream. Like there's ways they could change the angles
live
and
stream,
maybe a little different take on how things are currently being done to make it a better experience.
Yeah, that's a great idea. The wheels were turning for Craig. Watch out! Step back and watch out.
Then there are no speakers outside of that tower.
Well, you can fix that problem too.
Right.
No Limit Drag Racing on mobile apps is a pretty fun bracket racing game. I'll have to check that one out. Thank you, Brian Zenson. No Limit Drag Racing.
No, he also said that the NHRA game is made by the same people who made.
That's bad news. Well, hopefully they get a better job on this one.
Right. Maybe they got some more cash this time.
Maybe if they would have put stock and super stock in it, it would have had a bigger following. I mean, let's not forget the 2.5 million people that tuned into that heads-up final last year at Epping. And the heads-up final that I posted recently from 2018, Larry Gilly and Ryan Mangus. I haven't seen Gilly out much this year. Hopefully he's all right. Or maybe he could be waiting on parts and things like that. All right, fellas. Well,
it's been real. It's been fun. Yeah. Come back, definitely.
I'm sure I'll be asking you lots of audio-visual questions, Craig.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
The Northeast is a area of the country I haven't explored much, so I may need to wander up there.
Absolutely.
So, and we'll do a road trip. We can get a sponsored bus.
The road show.
Go, there you go. Take it on the road. Who can we talk to? I wonder if Charlie could get us a bus. Awesome. All right. Well, Brian, good luck in your endeavors at draginsights.com and driverinterviews.com. And we will see you around the bend as we go. And then hopefully we'll cross paths again on the show. ClassRacingToday.com is this website. And thanks for hanging out. We will be back next time with some more interviews. They will start looking a little different, I think, but that's all right. We adjust and grow as we need to. So thanks a lot, everyone. We appreciate it. Have a great day. Have a great week. Stay safe. And we'll see you next time.